There's a visual countdown.
Yes, darling.
Oh,
there was
God.
a visual countdown. You know, whenever we're apart and I use Riverside, I'm like, oh, I want this to be as good quality as possible. So Matt Steele is getting used to the new application and what it's doing, and I think it's going to do a great job.
Okay, if it doesn't, then I will be very disappointed, and so will the people.
Well, you should be disappointed in Riverside.fm, which is not sponsoring this video, but just like, don't email me with notes. I'm not open to that,
No,
as
guys,
you know
we don't
from...
care. Yeah.
No, we only accept 5 stars, and I only accept good feedback. So that goes for this recording. I think it's going to be good. And again, it's always interesting when we do this without, doing it live with the people, because it's like, oh, this is like the old times, how we used to do that back in our old apartment.
The old days, the old times, the ancient times where we had to write the podcasts on the cave walls.
It was very that. So I'm glad we're, getting back to basics. I think that's going to be a beautiful thing. It'll bring us back down to earth,
Yeah, we're like Christina. Should I be like lounging in the glamour? Like
Yes,
that
if you
pose
could
on the cover.
throw on some red lipstick at the break. I think the people are going to love that.
Oh, my red lipstick's in LA. Shit.
Oh, too bad. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Two Gay Matts, the podcast. It's Matt Palmer.
And it's Matt Steele.
And we are back again another week. We are so happy to be in your ears, hopefully on your eyes if you're watching this on Spotify or on YouTube. And Matt Steele, how was your week?
My week is good. As you can tell, I'm in New Jersey.
Yes.
In the autumn days of New Jersey, they're always very beautiful. However, it is 80 degrees today. In New Jersey.
That's warm.
Oh, yeah. It's been hot the entire week that I've been here. As Muna famously said, why is it so hot in NJ in mid-October?
Don't know if every lyric is right there, but yes, I know what you're meaning.
But it's been very nice. I came out here to see family and everything, and in the process, also my cousin John got married a couple weeks ago, and he got married just like him and his wife, and just like my other cousin and just like a couple other people. It was a very small thing, but he also had like a little get together gathering for it, which because I was coming out, I also had the ability to attend, and so
That's
was
amazing.
in Wildwood, New Jersey, which was very, very fun, and got to see some family and got to spend a nice October day at the shore. I've never been down the shore in New Jersey in fall.
I mean, yes, you say fall, but again, 80 degrees doesn't sound super fall-y to me.
It's not super fall-y, and let me tell you, I have not been in New Jersey in the fall since 2016, and girl,
Wow.
my head has fallen off of my body. My allergies are so out of control, and it's not like stuffy nose, like scratchy throat allergies. It is like I am
Right.
on another planet. It's a much better today, but
Nice.
the previous 2 days, let me tell you, I was here. My head might as well have been Seattle, Washington. Like I truly could not tell you where I was. I would stand up and I would be like, I need to sit down or I will fall. Like I
didn't
will
realize
fall
you-
over.
I didn't realize you had such bad allergies. I feel like sometimes you would have allergies like spurts when we were living together, but I never knew it was like, oh, I have to sit down. Like things are not looking good. I don't know.
It's very rare that it's like, I feel groggy and drowsy allergies.
Yeah.
Like usually it's like I get like a hay fever allergy moment where it's like your basic miserable stuffy nose for like 2 days and like that's it. But
Sure.
like it's been a while since I've had my arms feel like they're made of like spaghetti, so that's been an interesting sensation. But it's been fun. I can't say that I've been doing a whole lot of anything other than like seeing my family and all that stuff, but
Right.
we're still having a good time, just taking Claritin and making it through.
I feel like that's appropriate. Like this is a version of a vacation, right? You don't need to be trying to be productive or doing any work. So maybe this is a good thing that you're feeling the allergies. You can kind of just rest, enjoy family time, like a little pre-Thanksgiving moment.
I mean, I did edit two Gay Matts videos. So
One of them that's only available on Patreon.
I know, exactly. And
Yeah.
so I did do that. That was a part of my vacation, I guess. But
start
also
relaxing.
this is work as well. And then tonight is
true.
the Big Brother finale, which is also work as well, because I'm very invested in that.
Oh, I don't know if things you're invested in equals work. Like me listening to Mariah Carey isn't work.
Being
So
a
I
Big
think that
Brother
last-
fan, being a Big Brother fan is work, okay? To be as invested as we are, I followed these people for 90 days straight, and today is my retirement from this season, I guess.
That's true.
So it is work. It is a job.
It does seem like this season in general, you've hated it less. Like, I always feel like you get to a point of the season where you hate it, and I feel like that hasn't really happened. I think that's nice.
This has been the best season in probably. It's kind of hard. It's been the best season in the past, like, several years, I would say. I don't know.
That's good.
The thing with, I mean, we can talk about it later, but like, I would say this season has been most consistently good in the past several years. I do think the highs of season 24, which was 2 years ago, were higher, but the lows of that season were lower. So it's just a different sensation. But
which was the season that Taylor won?
Taylor won 24. So that was also, I thought, a very good season, but like, it was mostly because like the highs were so exciting on that season, you know, whereas it was like week to week, just entertainment. It was just really good. But Matt Palmer, we'll talk about Big Brother later, obviously. Matt Palmer, how are you?
We don't have to if you don't want to. If it's
we
too
have
much
to.
work.
There wasn't much news this week, guys. So
good. It'll be a short 2 minutes.
But no, I mean news in terms of like news for idiots.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a lot of Big Brother news, but the finale hasn't even aired. So
trust me, there isn't much Big Brother news either. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, for me, this past week has been lovely. It's been a lot of seeing college friends. My old roommate and from college, Hunt, was in town with his girlfriend, Jenny. And so we went and got dinner with them, I believe, on Thursday night, because it was the night we usually do 2 game mats, but Matsy was flying across the country. And so then on Friday, Jackson's friend from college, Chris, came in town with his family, his wife and 2 kids. And so we spent the last couple of days hanging out with them. And so today, the thing is, I feel like for having just gotten back from a 10-day, European vacation, I've been busier than one would like to be. Like, my day job has had more work. We're prepping things for the live show. There's more to do than I would have liked, because, I like to just ease back into regular life after a vacation. That hasn't quite happened, but it feels like today will be the beginning of that. I know some people watching this live on YouTube are probably hoping and wishing that we were there live with you and answering your commentary, but I must say, every time we have a Sunday night off, I'm just like, wow. What a moment. It's really like a nice change of pace for me. So if y'all don't like it, I apologize. Just know I love it. And not that I don't love, hanging out with you guys every Sunday night, but sometimes I'm going to be going over to see a friend, Sarah, this evening, hang with her baby, hang out on the patio. Cause this is a little hotter than it should be as far as like what Muna is talking about in late October. Well, I guess it's still mid-October, whatever. But it's not terrible. Like, I feel like a few weeks ago in LA when it was like, oh, we're jumping up to the hundreds, like that was so incredibly unpleasant. Like, now we're in a place where it's like, okay, we can do the indoor-outdoor thing and it's not going to be a belaborous experience. Like, it's like, oh, this is enjoyable being outside of air conditioning for a moment. And so I will be bringing over, some Aperol Spritz fixins, hanging out with her baby, maybe playing a game or two, just catching up and like relaxing. Cause it's like this jump back into real life has been a little, I don't like diving into the deep end of a pool. And this is very that. It was like I had no choice but to dive in the deep end. And this upcoming week, I don't think anything crazy is happening. So I can just kind of wade around in the shallow end for a bit. So
that's
I'm excited
nice
about that. Yes.
That's wait around and then just like you'll have another vacation soon, I'm sure. And so you just like walk into the pool slowly and then you just like turn back around and walk back
Yes,
out.
it's like, oh, that was enough. I mean, not too much of a vacation. It's just going to be around, the Christmas time. I'm flying back to Atlanta December 18th. And between that and then, I don't think I even am taking maybe like a day or two, but not a lot of time off from the regular job. So that's a long stretch of work for me. I like to have more vacation.
What about Thanksgiving? You're not doing anything for Thanksgiving?
Well, I mean, it's not, I guess I'm having like a day or two off, but that's just, everybody has those days off. That doesn't feel as, if I'm not working while others are working, that feels like a vacation. When I'm not working and nobody's working, I'm like, well, then we're just all not working. Like that, I don't feel like that's special to me,
Okay, well, I am working around Thanksgiving. And all those Monday holidays that you have off.
I don't have tomorrow off, if that helps you.
That's true. It's so hard these days trying to figure out, okay, who has off on this like Monday holiday that some people do not mention, and so it's like, who has off, who doesn't have off,
I'm in the no column. But
I am usually in the yes column because I work on Mondays, but I'm in New Jersey, so I'm in the no column as well.
Oh, look at you. I was saying no, like we're don't off. Have it on. No,
you don't have it off.
I have to work tomorrow, which is wild.
Sucks.
Me working?
Me having a Monday off when you have to work?
See? We're in the upside down. How did this happen? I don't know how we got here, but I hate it. Well, should we jump into the news for idiots again? It's going to be a light news week, so you're going to hear the top story. The first thing I mentioned, be like, really, bitch? But whatever.
Oh, no.
Gonna jump in.
Oh, I'm curious to know what it is.
It's what I've gleaned, and I've decided is the top story.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Mariah Carey has been announced as both, not to be a podcast that reports on other podcasts, but if you like gay men talking to a microphone, I'm sure you've listened to Las Cultaristas. This is a podcast hosted by Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers that's been around since 2016. And they were counting down, I think on their 400th episode celebration, they've been counting down the most iconic 400 people in culture. Number one was, of course, Mariah Carey. And they, along with that announcement, have told us that they have filmed and recorded a podcast interview with her that I believe is coming out this upcoming Wednesday. And that's very exciting for me. And then the clip of her doing her I Don't Think So, Honey, which is like her, you know, kind of give me moments if it was negative.
Yeah.
If it was like, these are the things I hate. And she's talking about I Don't Think So, Honey, overhead lighting, and gives us a minute-long speech about why overhead lighting is the devil. And I just can't wait because I enjoy the podcast. It's on my listening. You know, I have every day I have some podcasts I jump into, and I definitely jump into Las Cultaristas a lot of weeks, and I will definitely be diving in this week. And I appreciate that Matt Rogers specifically is such a big Mariah fan. So if ever you watch their interview with Kelly Clarkson, it's so wonderful because it's like we're getting a great interviewer, but also a person who like knows the discography, knows the lore, knows about the B-sides, knows to ask about tracks beyond like, so All Over Christmas Is You, and like, wow, we belong together. It's like, okay, let's get to the serious shit. Let's ask about, slipping away.
He knows how to interview Mariah Carey. He knows how to set up the studio so she shows the side that she likes. He knows to give her a chaise lounge so half of the interview is her laying down. Like
the clip I saw, she was setting up. She was setting up, but she... I know.
Mariah, wow, this is an important interview for her.
But wow. I do think, because I've seen her on radio interviews before, like she was on The Breakfast Club promoting Me I Am Mariah back in 2014, and they were like, this interview was so late because Mariah's lighting people had needed hours to set up the lighting.
I love it.
The way she wanted it. And I'm like, yes, I get it. Hey, we set up the light every single day. Well, I do. Right now you're at home and you're just dealing with the light that's coming to you, I'm sure. But yeah, I get wanting the light a certain way as people that are on camera, a good bit these days. It makes sense to me, and I just can't wait to see what these two talk about. I just want to know more about the Mariah, because this is the 30th anniversary of the Merry Christmas album, and my dream of all dreams is that she is releasing her version of Matt Steele's favorite Christmas song, Where Are You Christmas, famously written by Mariah Carey, performed by Faith Hill, and because Tommy Mottola at the time wouldn't let her be a part of the Grinch soundtrack, and I've always wanted to know what rainbow-era Mariah vocals would sound on that beautiful, wonderful track that some people dislike within our Discord for reasons I'll never understand. So maybe that'll get announced on that podcast. You never know.
Maybe Tommy didn't like the song either.
Wow. So you're saying you're team Tommy Mottola? Is that what you're saying to me?
I'm just saying I am looking out for Mariah. And if and maybe Tommy was looking out for Mariah in a different way that, was not giving her much freedom, but he cared in a very harmful way, but I care in a good way. And if you care in any way, you would be like, where are you, Christmas? Not up to snuff.
Wow. The thing is, I believe she called this song out because there was some year where the top holiday airplay singles, number one was All In For Christmas Is You, and number two was Where Are You Christmas. As much as you haters dislike it, it's a Christmas classic too at this point, and we all need to accept that.
I truly have never heard of the song until I started living with you in 2012, and you were like, she originally sang Where Are You Christmas, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Is that is that what you call her, or to quote Mariah Precious, is that what you call her? Is that
And it's co-written by who? James Horner? Somebody who, James Horner. A lot of people involved in, cinematic film music. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Stunning composer. So,
yes.
Are we dissing James as well?
We will never diss James. We love Titanic. But No, I'm not
Wow.
a fan of that song. I'm sorry, but I am a fan of Las
Wow.
Cultaristas, and am a huge fan of Mariah, obviously. So I'm thrilled that they are given this opportunity. All the fan groups are winning. The Cathys won by getting Brian Stokes Mitchell on the 2 gay mats,
Yes.
and the Katys, which is what the fans of Las Cultaristas call themselves, win by getting Mariah Carey.
I love that it's 2 great lady names that are fans of those podcasts. I appreciate it very much. I have a question for you.
Oh.
I felt like just onto our next subject. I had been seeing, because for some reason I think because of like the Discord and how much like the Wicked movie channel is going off, and like I read through it even though if I'm not commenting. I get a lot of Wicked movie content on my Twitter, and I have seen so much back and forth about the new Wicked poster, because everyone's like, why have they not recreated the like theater poster where like Glinda's whispering into Alphaba's ear and XYZ, and then they did. There's a new poster in which Ariana Grande is whispering into Cynthia Erivo's ear, and it looks very much like the poster, and then the people are so pissed. Like every comment I see on Twitter are like, her hand is too low, or like the hat's not low enough. I'm like, guys, I feel like this is a nice reference. It was clear what we were referencing. Do you, as a musical theater, enthusiast, have any strong feelings about this poster? Because a lot of people do.
I have the weakest feelings about the poster. I truly don't give a shit that the hand is a little lower, and also like people are like comparing it to the revised version of the Broadway poster, and not even like the OG original version of the poster. The revised version, I think, is the revised, because like they had the original version of the poster that came out in 2003 when the show opened,
Sure.
and then as like each like several years they kind of revise it to like give like a little more details, give Alphaba a red lip, a little bit more of a smirk. So it's changed slightly as far as that goes as well. And it's like I saw the poster and I was kind of just like, okay, like the movie version. I was like, okay, like they recreated the Broadway poster. Cool. On with my day. I truly did not care about like the missing details or anything, because I guess there are things about the original poster that you prefer. And that aren't necessarily in this new movie poster version. It doesn't take away from the iconicness of the original poster, which, by the way, online, people aren't even sharing the original poster. You're sharing a revised, I think, version of the Broadway poster. That's a little too detailed.
How different is the original poster from the revised one? Because that was what I always assumed was the original poster.
It's like if you have looked at, as the years have gone on, if you're not paying super attention, you don't notice much change at all. But like if you put them side by side, it's just there's a little more 3-dimensional sheen to the newer version. The original is very much classic, like flatter 2D a cartoon image. I don't want to say cartoon, but like colored
like
in image, and image. But I guess like the one that was done in like the 2010s is a little more. There is a little like dimension given to like the curvature of the face. There's detail added to Elphaba's lip. It's a little sleeker and everything, which I don't know. I do love the classicness of the original. I love it when a Broadway poster really like shows when it opened. I don't know. I kind of like that because theater, there's such a historic quality of theater where it's like this show is such a time capsule of like this show opened in 2003. You look at the poster and you're like, that looks like 2003. Yes, like I like that aspect of Broadway art, but I understand marketing companies, this show is still running, you need to update some things, make it like look a little more modern. I do understand the impetus to do that, but this movie poster, guys, I don't know, like you can tell that they did not really pose for this picture, but it's harmless. It's harmless. The movie's going to be a big success. I don't think this will be the DVD cover. Maybe it'll be. Will DVDs even happen? Who knows? But
who knows?
like the thing with marketing now for movies is because like you can easily change the posters of stuff. There doesn't need to be the one final choice. It's like the poster for the let's say Netflix is what picks up this movie to go on streaming. The main image that Netflix uses might be different from the image that like Amazon might use if you decide to later stream it on Amazon. Like it it kind of doesn't really matter anymore, which is sad. But
Yeah.
the poster's fine. Like, y'all will be fine.
Did you have multiple poster options for Devos when you were putting it together? Were you like, ooh, for this streamer, we want to use this picture, and for this streamer, we want to use this picture?
Not for different streamers. We did have 2 different versions of the poster. One was done originally, and it was like a lot more like chaotic and like wild. And then when we were like, oh, this is going on streaming platforms, the platforms were kind of like, we need something simpler, that way it's easier for us to show. It shows up better on streaming platforms.
Got it.
So we have 2 versions. So we have 2 different Devos posters.
I love that.
Which, I don't know, Google and you'll probably find both. So
Yes, everyone get in your Googles. And other news, I don't know if you heard, I assume she's a commentator. I honestly don't know exactly who she is, but her name is Jaguar Wright, and she has been going on about the fact that she believes that not just Diddy was involved in this kind of sexual abuse ring kind of stuff. It was also Jay-Z, and then basically tying in Beyonce into all of this horrible allegations that like have no basis. Like, you literally have nothing to back up your claims. It's basically just a feeling she has, or like something she knows, but like she's not coming to the table with any proof or anything.
She has.
Yes, she just has a feeling. And so she recently appeared
people
on
have feelings about the Wicked poster.
I know. That's where your feelings should go. You are not psychic. You're not come to us when you have facts, not when you have feelings.
This is high stakes, serious stuff. Don't come out and be like, I have a feeling. It's like, no, have your feelings about low stakes stuff, like the Wicked.
That's
poster.
the thing. It's like if you wanted to say, oh, I think Beyonce, I think she was wearing a wig on the cover of the B-Day album. It's like, sure, let's discuss that.
Let's discuss
but
it.
This is not something that you can play around with people's names about. But of course, Piers Morgan, moron, gives this person a platform in which Jaguar Wright says, quote, "For 4 years, I've been screaming that not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters," Wright said during her interview. Elsewhere, she claimed that Jay-Z and Beyonce both have hundreds of victims, quote unquote. And then on Tuesday, Piers Morgan revealed on his show that Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyers had contacted him, and that Wright's claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. The thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world, is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited Wright on to be interviewed. The people making claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. He goes on to essentially apologize and saying like, oh, all of this was false. We didn't know what she was going to say. We've taken down the clip XYZ. But it's like, okay, I don't know much about her platform. I assume it's social media based. I don't know if Piers Morgan even appears on television anymore, if he has a podcast, if he has a YouTube show, whatever it is. But if you're supposed to be a serious journalist who is like, oh, I do my research, you shouldn't be inviting people onto your show saying things that have no basis in fact. If you know that, like, you should have a team of researchers that are like, does the person that we're bringing onto the show, do they have credibility? Do the things that they're saying make sense? Or could we be getting reached out to by Beyonce's fucking lawyers because we're promoting this lie to such a larger audience? Like, why? Like, you've been doing this for 9,000 years. Like, why? I honestly can't believe this is the first time this has happened to you. I'm happy that you apologized so quickly, but like, all of this could have been avoided, and your journalistic integrity could have been retained if you had just done a little bit of research before booking this person. I just don't understand how this happened at all.
Yeah, let's book serious people from now on, because this person sounds like anyone who comes at something just saying, oh, I feel this, without that something that is that big of an accusation,
right,
not coming around with facts or anything substantive, then you're just an unserious person. And why are we giving a platform to those people? I mean, Lord knows we've been doing that for God knows how many years at this point. But still, each time it's so frustrating. And it's like, you're a serious journalist. What are you doing? And even just me, the first thing I'm thinking of when you said that Jaguar or whatever came on this show and just saying, ooh, I have a feeling, is I'm just like, oh, somebody's going to get sued.
I know. And
wouldn't Piers Morgan think oh, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen?
Right. Right. If not, I mean, I don't know if it's a live show or what, but like even after the interview, you could have been like, this didn't seem like a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't air this. It just is absolutely wild. I am glad the clip is not available anymore, but it's also is just so strange to me that people really want like somehow Beyonce or like in so many female artists to be connected to this Diddy thing. Like the weeks after this first, the allegations were like made really clear and like the papers were out and everyone knew about the freak offs. They were like, oh, here are pictures of like this person at a white party with Diddy. And it's like, no, don't try to conflate these two things. As of right now, there is one perpetrator that we need to be focused on. It is Diddy running this whole ring. And if other names come out through actual investigation from actual, like the actual feds, let's discuss it then. Like you guys are not Nancy fucking Drew. You're not going to put the pieces together. This isn't a true crime story that you're getting to the bottom of. So you just look ridiculous and you might get sued. Period.
Yeah. I mean, the past several years on social media has just been people being like, well, I know the real truth. And it's like, no, you don't. You sit in your bedroom and you like tweet things. And I guess this person, Jaguar, what do they do?
I don't know. I think this.
They do this. If this is what they do for a living, that
totally.
Like this is not a real person who we should be taking. I mean, they could be a real person, yes, but like who we should be like taking seriously.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And just leave Beyonce alone. She will sue you.
Yes.
Okay. This is more of a like, programming note for Matt Steele. Keep your Thursday night open. There's a rumor that someone could be surprise dropping something. I don't know. There have been talks of Taylor Swift, talks of Harry Styles, because both Shawn Mendes and Joe Jonas have pushed back their album release dates. They were both planning to come out this Friday, the 18th of October, and both of them are like, it just needs a little bit more time in the oven. Like, it just needs a little bit more seasoning. Like, we'll see you next month, which is usually the thing people do when, you know, a giant artist is like made waves and be like, hey, by the way, we're dropping something. So get out of the way unless you want no chance of being number one next week. And so maybe this is all theory. Maybe this time next week it'll be a nothing burger. But just keep your Thursday night open, Matt Steele, because we might need to take to the mics, listen to some music.
And you know, I'm happy this gives like Shawn Mendes and who else?
Joe Jonas.
It gives them enough time to be like, you know what? Maybe since I have this time, like I've pushed it back a little bit. I could season some things a little more. Give another rethink of like what they're working on to make it as good as it can possibly be. So
it's true.
So I think that's wonderful. Who could possibly be beside if it's not Taylor Swift or Beyonce, who both released giant things this year? Who else could it be?
I mean, people are also saying Harry Styles, which I'm like, would Harry Styles surprise drop a whole album? I don't know. Maybe that's something that the little stylers, I don't know what they're called, but maybe that's something they want. But yeah, I can't think of anybody else that like the timing would make sense, because Adele literally just said, you won't be seeing me for years. So I don't think it's her.
I mean, we know Gaga's releasing a song.
But yeah, a song I don't think
these are albums
move.
that they're pushing.
These are
back.
albums, right? Which makes me think it's an album.
It's an album.
So if anybody else has any guesses, and again, it really could be like a whole Y2K moment. We're all like leading up to the event. It's like, oh, it's gonna be 9 p.m. on the West Coast Thursday night. Who is it? Who is it? And the answer could be nobody. But if you need us to listen to Reputation, Taylor's version, and give our opinions, then we will do it. Don't worry, we are available. At a moment's notice. We're going to keep our Thursday open just in case.
Wait, what if the surprise drop is really self-titled? If she's like, I need like something to make this Taylor's version as exciting as the others, you know?
I mean, it could. It's almost Halloween. She's been dressing fair. Wearing the tatters of like Nirvana outfits at the VMAs. I think Reputation's coming next. And I don't mean this to be mean. And I'm not saying it like, of course, we love all music from our artists. I pray if it's Taylor, it's not a new album. Like, we would
burn the city down. We would go fucking insane. How could it be a new album? How could she have all the material all in this short period? It hasn't even been 6 months.
Wait, it hasn't.
No, it's like been close to 6 months because it was what, April that Tortured Poets came out? It was,
I think, April, yeah.
If it is a new album, we will need to retire. Like, this will be the end of us.
I know. I mean, it's not. I just am going to tell us. I'm going to say that it's not, and that it's going to be either a Reputation Taylor version or a different artist. Like an entirely. God. We truly just received 31 songs from you, ma'am. We all need a break. You included. Don't you want to just go to your, boyfriend's football games and cheer them on and not have to worry about promoting?
It's football season. You've got games to go to, and we have an election we need to take care of. We need to do that before an entire new Taylor Swift album
Absolutely,
drops.
We do. Speaking of the election, did you see Kamala on the cover of Vogue? Looking
gorgeous.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's a gorgeous picture, and I just am so happy. I think, what did they say? The candidate for our times. I've got my fucking ballot here. It did come in the mail. Thank you, Ballot Tracks, for keeping track of that. I need to look up the props, basically. I'm ready to bubble in Kamala, obviously, but I need to look up all the props for California, everything that's going on here. But I can't wait to drop it off. I can't wait to drop that off. It's definitely going to happen before the next podcast. I will have voted. You will have seen a picture of me with my I voted sticker. And that's just going to be such a moment because I'm ready to have done my part. And I'm ready for my part of this equation to be over. And so that's exciting for me. I know you're going to wait till the day. You like to go in and be there in person. Really do your civic duty.
I smile at those ladies volunteering. I'm so happy to stick my little paper in there and it sucks it up. It's beautiful.
How many people our age do you think are just like not voting? Like the idea of not voting is so not something I can even wrap my head around. Ever since I have had the ability to vote, I have voted in both the general elections and then the primaries and the midterms. I would feel crazy not voting, but I'm like, are there people that like have no voting plan at this point in the game?
Yes,
for our age.
Yeah,
like
the country is big, girl. Let me tell you, there is a big difference between when I am in Central Jersey, where I'm from, driving through South Jersey to get to the shore. There is a difference in
really
house decor. Let's just say.
Well, house decor, I'm sure, but like I assume those people will be voting. They'll be voting.
No,
they will be voting.
But it's just like at the country, so everyone has all different types of things they do or don't do. Yeah, because we very much live in a bubble of people who are like, we're voting.
I'm so excited to vote, and say what you will, I love my bubble.
I mean, there are still also people who are literally just like, I don't know anything about the candidates, who are still like figuring that out. So it's a big country, and so we got to do everything we can to keep everyone as informed as possible. And the way to keep people informed is to not have unserious people platformed on things like Piers Morgan.
I know. Absolutely it is. The Met Gala has a new theme for next year, 2025. Super fine, tailoring black style. It is the show is inspired by the 2009 book of Monica Miller, professor and chair of Africana Studies at Barnard College University. Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and Styling of Black Diasporic Identity, in which establishes Black Dandyism as both an aesthetic and a political construct. I think this is exciting. There are co-chairs of Pharrell Williams, Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, Anna Wintour, LeBron James, and Lewis Hamilton, who I believe is a NASCAR driver, but in my head is most famous for dating Nicole Scherzinger for like a decade, who I've heard is amazing in Sunset Boulevard in New York. I keep seeing raves. I'm like, how do I get to see that? Is she going to be in it for a while? Do you think if I go to New York, not that this was about that, but do you think if I go to New York within the next year that I'll be able to see it and see her in it?
Yeah, I mean, they're running through at least Tony season, darling.
Okay,
June.
all right.
So,
all right.
Don't worry, it will be running, and it will be fine. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it is successful now. If it does well, like in the Tony Awards, it could continue to run. I don't know how long Nicole Scherzinger is scheduled to be in, at least through Tony season. But this time next year, like October, I don't know. But you have the next 9 months or so, I would say.
Right.
Where you're good. So.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take us off track. I'm excited about this theme as far as the Met Gala is concerned, but I also am just a little nervous. Like, are the non-black people on the runway going to be able to reference this time in a way that's not offensive? I'm hopeful that they can, but I just hope the Julianne Houghs of the world all look in the mirror. Ask a lot of people before you walk that red carpet if you are not black. That's all I'm saying. If you're out there, just know not to do anything stupid.
Well, when I'm invited to next year's Met Gala, I will have the best stylist, and I'll be like, okay, let's get creative, guys. How can I do this in a way that isn't offensive?
Right.
And that's going to be my plan. And
I think that's a good plan.
I will win the award. The online. The Met Gala awards it's an online award. People talk about who was the best.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's just like who enjoyed, who did Twitter enjoy the most. So I'm excited about the theme, but just a little concerned, but hopefully it'll be fine.
You're excited and scared.
Exactly.
Like Little Red Riding Hood.
I've always thought of myself as a little red, just always skipping around.
It's crazy though, because I'm like redder and littler.
Yeah, but vocally, I don't think you have it. Lupita Nyong'o
I could absolutely play Little Red Riding Hood. Get out of here.
Maybe. I don't know. Lupita Nyong'o is single. So she and Joshua Jackson. Yes.
I didn't know this.
I know. She confirmed that she was single, I believe, on Instagram because she was declaring her love for her cat. Yo-Yo. She says, quote, "If I'm ever so lucky to be in a romantic relationship again, it'll be because of him." So yeah, there was a rumor, it seemed like she and Joshua Jackson were together. It was a very cute couple. This was after her October 2023 split from ex-boyfriend Salema Masakala. So yeah, it just seems like it was a short-lived relationship, and I feel like Joshua Jackson was soon after his marriage getting into this relationship, so maybe it was kind of a rebound thing for both of them, but they're both very attractive people. I'm sure they'll find other loves. I hope nothing too bad happened. They're both so famous that like if something bad happened, I'm sure we'd never know about it, but I was just thinking about like, oh wow, what a couple, and that couple is no more.
Oh no, I mean that's...
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back. She said if she were to get another relationship, it would be because of her cat?
That I can't really look into. I don't know how the cat is playing matchmaker, but yes, it would be because of him.
That must be a fucking awesome cat.
I bet.
It's like, could you imagine like dating someone? That's like a plot of an episode of a sitcom. Like just like you decide to date someone just because you love their dog so much. And you just want to be with that dog.
I've dated guys with pets before, but I don't think the pet swayed me either way. I wasn't like, oh, gotta stay with this person because their dog is so cool. Like, that's not happening.
Oh my God, can I say something that's like a little mean?
Lord, here we go.
I think it's like actively kind of a turn off when I can tell a guy, if I'm like talking to a guy on like a dating app, and I can tell they're actively using their pet to charm me.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, what are you up to? And they're like, oh, just hanging out with my dog or my cat. And they send me a picture with said dog or cat. And I'm like, oh, cute. Love him.
Right.
Anyway, and I continue the conversation. And then it's just more pictures of the animal, more pictures of the dog, or more pictures of the cat are sent. And I'm just like, okay, like I would like to see more pictures of you than your animal. Yet to me, I'm kind of just like, what are you doing here? Are you trying to manipulate me into thinking that you're extra adorable because your pet is really adorable?
Right. And it's also like, I know you're not using this method just on me. That's what that would give me. It's like, you did, and it's also like, did you get this animal for this purpose? Like, did you get a dog because you knew it was cute, go on walks in West Hollywood to try and pick up guys? Because like, I think that's a move for some people, and like, more power to you if it works, but I'm not falling for it. So I'm actually with you. I think that having the dog and pushing the dog so strongly is a red flag. It's like, what are you doing with this dog? Why are you using it in this way?
Yeah. And if you got the animal for that purpose, you got an animal for the wrong reason, girl.
Right. And you better take care of that animal. You better be walking it, or it better have a big backyard or something, because that dog is not just an accessory to you. This is a living being that you need to take care of. A living being.
Living being. We care about animals here on Two Gay Mats, and that is why neither of us has a pet, because we know that we do not have the capacity to take care of one just yet.
We don't, because that's a serious commitment, and we're not ready to commit to parenthood in that way at this stage in our lives. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
That Adam Brody, Kristen Bell show has been announced. There's going to be a season 2. Nobody wants this. I haven't finished it yet. It is cute and like, you know, they have good chemistry, but it's like, no shade. A lot of people love it, and I love that they love it. It's a tad boring. Like, there's not a lot going on as far as like B storylines. So it's very much like, oh, the two of them, are they going to get together? Are they not? He's a rabbi. She's a sex podcaster. I don't know. And then like all of their friends and family are very like, I don't know. They're just not, no one's popping as much for me, but maybe the second half of the season gets better. I have not watched the whole season, but it's hard because as of this very moment, there's so much great TV that I'm watching, like English Teacher, which I'm so sad that next episode is the finale. I didn't realize it was an 8-episode season of this.
Fast.
It is. Maybe it was like a test run, but like people have been loving it, so hopefully it gets a much longer second season. But there's that. There's Great British Bake Off is back. There are 4 Housewives cities on at the moment. Like it's a lot. And I haven't started Heartstopper, which I'm sure everyone listening to this podcast who loves Heartstopper is glad I haven't, because you know I always have my criticisms of that show that people always hate. But there's just a lot of shows out there. So the idea of something that I don't love moving to the top of my to watch list is it's tough. So okay. I hope to finish that show, but we'll see.
Okay, but Matt Palmer, and I realize it'll be hypocritical to say this as a Big Brother fan, but if you are not happy with a show, why do you continue to watch more seasons?
I didn't say I wasn't happy with it. And yes, you are being hypocritical. Listen, we all know that.
This season of Big Brother is fucking amazing, and so was 24, and so was the first half of 25.
Sure, but it's like, I don't dislike it. I'm like interested in it, and I think it's cute, and it's working, and it's a part of the cultural conversation. I feel like, as a podcaster, as the Two Gay Matts television correspondent, I would be dropping the ball on my duties if I didn't even just because I didn't think something was a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean I shouldn't finish it. Because I got to take to the mic and have some opinions. So I'm going to give it more. I'm going to give it a couple more episodes. People say the second half is better.
Matt Palmer, no, just be like me. Get on the podcast, have no opinions. It's like me with the Wicked poster. It's like I have no opinion on this. It's like I hope the movie does well. I'm excited to see it. That's my opinion of the Wicked poster.
It would be like if you had to do a 2 gay minutes and you're like, oh, I haven't been watching Big Brother, but I'm still going to do the segment. It's like, no, people would be able to see right through you. So I have to come with honesty.
No one can see right through me, baby. I have a BFA in drama. I'm a professional actor. I acted recently with a person who we mentioned in this podcast. So actually, I didn't act with.
I was going to say they weren't in the scene.
They were in the scene,
but they were close by.
I did meet said person, and this person might have a picture of me in their phone because they took a picture of me. Anyway,
that they requested and wasn't weird, not a weird, not like a nude or something.
Take a picture of me and put it in your phone. That's exactly what I did. It's like me bombard. That's what I do with celebrities. I'm like, take a picture of me and put it in your phone. It's how like the guys on Hinge bombard me. They're like, take this picture of my dog and love it, please.
Jesus. Question for you.
Oh, no.
Because both BBC and Netflix have announced new Pride and Prejudice adaptations. Have we not had enough Pride and Prejudice adaptations?
But there is no love deeper than those white girls for those British romantic comedy dramas. Those white girls love the Pride and Prejudice. They love a Sense and Sensibility. They love a Jane Austen moment. So have at it.
I just feel like we have been banging on for years about like having new stories and having those be told. And like, I just would like to continue banging that drum. Like, yes, but don't you want to watch the like Colin Firth version, or that guy from Succession has a version, or isn't Timothy Chalamet in a version? Who knows? I feel like
there are a lot of
potato.
That also falls in the category, even though that's an American story, but whatever.
Of like things that the women love, but like
similar
maybe
aesthetic.
Enough of.
Oh, but that Little Women is so fucking excellent. Also, the most recent Pride and Prejudice, that movie, 2005 movie, is really great. But
babe, are you part of the problem? Because it sounds it.
If it's well done, I'm all for it. You know,
I just want something new. Make Matt Steele's movie. Make his new untitled project, which is available now to be purchased and made.
But the thing is, like, and no one's forcing you to watch it. You're actually forcing yourself to watch things you don't want to watch. So,
don't fret. I won't be watching this. That will not come across my desk. Because again, movies is more your category. So I'm like, yes, Matt Steele will deal with the movies. I will deal with the television, and I will give my opinions, even when people don't like them. Like that there was too much hand drawing on that hard stopper stuff. But again, everyone likes what they like. There are two more like kind of downer news stories. Let's just skip it. Sometimes there are men and they are bad. Let's move on.
I don't even know who you're talking about, but yes, I agree.
I'm talking about specifically R. Kelly and Kanye West, but
I'm not talking about that. No, we don't.
I don't want to go into it.
We already know.
I hope we all know that. And know that Kanye West, bad person, wanted to vote for Trump, tried to get him into office. Bad people. Not all bad. Well, he's bad. Don't be like him. Any other news for idiots you'd like to share with the people?
I don't think so. We actually talked a lot for there being not many news topics.
Hey, I'm proud of us. We have a lot to say even when there's not much content.
I know. What does that say about us? Does it mean we talk too much?
Oh, we'll think about it over the break. We're going to take a quick break and then be back with more 2K Mats, the podcast.
All right, we're here, and I'm still hot, but the sun has moved from a different spot in my window, so the lighting is a little better for me, which is what is important.
Perfect.
But Matt Palmer,
Absolutely.
Tell the people what is also important.
Guys, it is very important that you rate and or review our podcast on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. Please note we do only accept 5-star ratings and reviews because any sort of criticism is just not welcome here, and we want to make sure as many people listen to or watch the podcast as possible because we love doing it for you. And the way you do that is helping us in the algorithms on both of those applications. If you really love us, go to patreon.com/2gaymats and you get extra bonus content from us very regularly. You can join the Discord, hang out with friends you haven't met yet, and hang out with us. We also just put up a new Patreon-only video about Perry. Her new music video came out. There's a little TikTok preview available on our TikTok, but if you want to see the full review reaction, you have to go to patreon.com/2gaymats.
It's a great idea.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely it is.
Guys.
Matt Steele, what part of the podcast are we in?
We're on Email My Heart, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite section. I don't know if that's true, but whatever. Today it is, because it's going to be a great one. It is Email My Heart. This is the section where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com. Two is spelled TWO. So we actually got a lot of emails this week. We got 5. So we're just going to do 3, and then we're going to save the next 2 for the next week.
Okay.
And so this question comes to us from someone whose name I will not reveal because it's a little personal.
Okay.
So this says, okay, so let's get to it. I had a really close straight friend, and I became the godfather to both his daughters. I became super close to the mother of his children, and after me and that straight friend had a huge falling out, I remained friends with her for quite a few years. A few weeks ago, my goddaughters were with my ex-friend and told him they went to the movies with me, and he got pissed because he didn't know I was still around and didn't like the idea of that. He then tells my friend, the kid's mother, that we used to mess around when we first met, which was true. Now she will not talk to me, and I haven't seen my goddaughters. I feel so bad, and it's killing me. I just didn't think she needed to know all that because it was literally almost 15 years since the last time I gave him some beef cake. I still feel like this may be my fault. How would you handle this? First of all, I don't think this is your fault at all.
Not.
I'm sorry that you lost not just like 1 but 2 friends, and also you aren't able to see your goddaughters, right? Like that. I'm so sorry about that. That's very hurtful.
Yes.
This is a them problem.
100%.
Between him and the thing is, like, it seems like they're not even together because he keeps referring to them to the girl as the mother of his children.
Right.
So I don't know if they're even still together. And the thing is, like, is she mad at you because you didn't tell her? Because that is not your place to tell her. Like, that is on your like ex-friend to tell her.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I would do in this situation is I wouldn't keep like hounding the mother of my godchildren. I wouldn't be like talk to me. I would maybe send a note, a letter, a text, just explaining how you feel. I feel very hurt that you're not talking to me, that you won't even give me a chance to explain myself. Just to get out what you're feeling, send it and leave it at that. And it's on her to reply, to decide to reply if she would like to. But at least you will have gotten your feelings out. I'm a big proponent. And that is why everyone always yells at me. They're just like, why do you want to like have like one final discussion with a guy if he like did you dirty in some sort of way? And it's like, because I want to get my feelings out to them and make sure that they heard it. So I'm like, if you want to like write her a letter or something like that. When it comes to the goddaughters, that is very, very hard and very, very upsetting. Unfortunately, they are not your children. And so it's not your place to impose yourself on someone else's children when, you know, they're someone else's kids, you know. So I would, when it comes to the godchildren, I would at most right now is send a birthday card, money in it, like a gift in it, and say, thinking about you, happy birthday, love, said name and everything. And it is up to the parents to give the daughters said gift if they want. If they don't, then like that's truly terrible. But at least you're putting in the effort to be like, these are my godchildren. I am trying to have some sort of, they at least trying to make it seem like, you know, show that I care about them. But until they are like adults, I don't know how old these girls are, until they are adults, then I wouldn't do anything like reaching out to them beyond that, you know?
Right. And I feel like this is a rare thing that happens during Emo My Heart, but I actually 100% agree with Matt Steele. You have not done anything wrong in this situation, so you should not feel bad. You should not, like, there's no way that it is your responsibility to tell a friend of yours who's dating someone that you used to hook up with that you guys, like, it just is so complicated. And the person, if she wanted to know that, the person that should have told her that is the person that she was then with, like the father of these children. And he chose not to do it and only did it out of spite because he knew it would hurt her. This is not something you did, not something you inflicted upon her. And again, not really something that you kept from her. There was no overlap in your relationships, it doesn't sound like. So yeah, what you are in a bad spot, and I'm really sorry to hear it. I think if you want to get those feelings out, that absolutely makes sense. But yeah, I think you've just kind of, as painful as it is, talk to your friends about it. Maybe, you know, find a therapist to get these feelings out in that way, because the contact you're going to have with this former friend and, you know, the mother of your godchildren is probably going to be very strained and or non-existent for the foreseeable future. So I think you're just in a tough spot, and I'm really, really sorry. But in my opinion, you didn't do anything wrong. You shouldn't beat yourself up about this. And you should, as best as you can, kind of continue on with your life and be hopeful that, you know, when those little girls turn 18, that they reach out to you, because I'm sure they have positive memories of you, and, you know, take their calls when they call you. I could see that happening in the future, and I would, you know, hope for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying all this just because, like, because children are involved, you want it to be as not messy as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
So yeah, once your goddaughters are adults, though, you know, once they reach a certain age, I would, you know, maybe like try to reach out to them at some point, but I don't know how many years in the future that is. And then not even really in however many years that is, if you do decide to reach out, don't even bring up the drama with the parents. Just be like, I've missed you. It's so good talking to you or seeing you after all these years. If they have questions about it, then I don't, maybe just be like, well, you can talk to your parents about that. You know, it's maybe not really my business, you know, but I do care about you. Yeah. A question though, that I was thinking about, if you're going to send the goddaughters a gift, would you send cash or a check? Because a check, you can see if it was deposited.
Now you're just being nosy.
I guess I want to know like what you would do, because I
don't know how old these kids are, but it seems like they're young. In my head, I would send cash and just like hope to God that the mom doesn't keep it for herself or keep it from those kids. Because I feel like with the check thing, it's like, how old are these kids? The mom's gonna have to handle it anyways. Like, it just gets a little weird. I don't know. In my head, it's like cash would be an easier way for a child to spend that money. You know,
I was always that kid who would go to like the birthday party of my 7-year-old fellow friend with a check from my mom. Like, I was like, and I never knew that it was considered a weird thing until I was in like high school,
Right.
and I was like still doing it. And my friends were just like, "What the fuck? You're giving me a check?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's wrong with that?" And like, I gotta go to the bank, you know.
I mean, you do that at weddings still to this day. You're bringing a check.
Oh.
You're bringing a check.
No, check or cash. I
Check
do
or cash, okay.
Yeah, I do cash.
But
sometimes.
you don't do the like registry. You're not like, oh, let's go
No,
pick something
I'm like,
out.
girl, I'm giving you the cash. Like, I'm not going through all this.
I do need to make a mental note of like, okay, I need to make sure I do this registry thing before it's too long after the wedding. Like, I know that it would be weird to not, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I'm just verbalizing that so you can all remind me before the end of the year that I've sent off my wedding gifts.
Yeah. All right. So this one I relate to quite a bit. This is from Amy. It says, "Let's split the bill conundrum." Hi, Matt. I'll try to keep this short and concise. How do you balance finances and social fun? It feels like every time I go out with friends, they always want to get food, which of course ends up costing money. I'm really trying to save for a car, so I try to budget accordingly. I don't drink, and we often go out in a big group, so at the end of the meal, everyone is like, "Let's split the bill." And I don't want to be that one person who asks to just pay my portion. I worry I won't get invited if I'm that person. That said, I don't really think it's fair to pay for drinks, which are expensive, that I didn't partake in. How would you handle these situations? Amy, be that fucking person.
I was going to say, be that person.
Like, Amy, and the thing is, like, you know, your friends, I'm sure you're all adults. Your friends would be crazy if when you said, "Oh, by the way," because here's what I do, because I don't drink as well. And usually I've gotten to an age where like my friends are just like, "Oh, that's right, Matt doesn't drink. Let's take off his portion and then split the bill between us," or we work different ways, or like we all pay equal and then people Venmo me like a little bit.
Right.
You know, we figure that out. But, you know, sometimes they don't remember that off the top of their heads, and so there's nothing wrong with simply, like, as you're like, "Oh, what should we do?" simply just say, "Oh wait, actually, don't forget I didn't drink." And 99 times out of 100, I feel like your friends would be like, "Oh, that's right," and then
Totally
figure it out. Like, I'm sure your friends are cool, and this is just sort of a courtesy that they learn and you learn, like, as you get older. When you know, as you get old, and it seems like you're still like relatively young-ish, because you're like, "Oh, we always go out in big groups," and I'm like, "I haven't done that in years, girl." So I feel like there's nothing wrong with simply just saying, "Oh yeah, by the way," don't make it a sit down, like, "Let's talk about this," because it's not a big deal. It's not just be like, "Oh, by the," and if they make it a big deal, then absolutely not. Like, that is
right,
not okay.
That is such a normal request. It's like, oh, even if like everyone was drinking, but it's like, oh, I got an appetizer and you guys all got like giant steaks. Like, I'm not paying all of that. So let's figure out a way, if it's via Venmo, if it's like, oh, it's close enough that like I just won't pay any tip and you guys all cover the tip and that'll cover like your drinks or whatever, then sure, there are ways to do it. But like, you paying for things you did not consume, call me cheap. I wouldn't do it. I would never do it. And I also don't think it's annoying when I or someone else at the table is like, "Oh no," I was like, "Oh, well, I can throw in 20. Like, who can I Venmo? Like, whatever." I just think it's unfair to assume that you're going to pay for something you didn't consume. Like, it makes sense for you to ask about, like, let's not split it evenly because I'm saving for something and also I didn't have a drink. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, your first time saying it, you might kind of just be like, "Oh, is this going to be weird?" I will guarantee it will not be weird, and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, totally. It'll be a totally casual thing." And I mean, like, if you don't want to even like spend money on food, like, you can just be like, "Hey, I'm happy to come and just like hang out with you guys." And like, "Oh, I'll get like something super small and just pay that like on my own, I won't eat anything. I'll sit, like, I'm trying to save money for a car." Like, they will completely understand. I'm pretty positive they will understand. It's very much, you know, you're a good girl. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this next question comes to us from someone who says, "Hello. For the most part, my email, my hearts have been pretty light and fun, but this is the first time where I am writing on a more serious topic and would like it to remain anonymous. Sorry, this is a novel, and I've had this email in my draft for a couple months now, but you can feel free to shorten it.
Have you shortened it at all?
In my head, I will now.
Great.
So essentially, I just started college and I'm experiencing many new experiences. I grew up in a really conservative area, so this is my first time that I can really explore my sexuality, but I'm unsure of how to go about this in a way where other people don't get hurt. Some of my friends who are in the queer community said they don't know people who are hesitant to date someone who has never been with a girl before because they don't want to have to go through all the firsts and lack of experience. They also don't want to date anyone who isn't out. I get that. I wouldn't want to make anyone feel like I'm ashamed of them, but I'm also still figuring things out and can't risk my conservative family finding out until I know I'm sure. When I heard that, that definitely made me really nervous since this would be my first experience dating a girl. I'm also not 100% sure I'm bi, and I don't want to hurt anyone who I may start seeing. What is the responsible way to figure this out? I'm so confused, and this has been weighing on my mind a lot. Also, when my cousin came out to our family, they weren't exactly supportive, and I can't deal with my family not being supportive. They've been my rock, and I couldn't imagine my life without them. We've been so close, and what if this changes everything? They pay for my college. What if they stop paying me for it? Essentially, what do I do in this situation?
I think the best first thing to do is if there is a girl, it sounds like there might be a girl that you are interested in and might be interested in you. Before you cross that line between friendship and relationship or romantic anything, just tell her this. Like, let her make her own judgment, being like, hey, just so you know, I'm not out to my family. I am not ready to be out. I would love to be with you, but this is the facts of my situation. I could not be posting on my social media. I couldn't take you home for Thanksgiving just as I'm figuring this out. And you can tell them, you could give as much information as you would like and as little, but just as much where she can make the decision for herself whether she wants to pursue it. Whether it's okay, but I like you enough, even if this isn't the ideal situation, I'm deciding that I want to go for it. And sure, this might end in a way that I'm unhappy with, but at least I knew going into it where you were at, and we can go from there. I think that's probably the best way to be fair about it. Just let her make the decision. And if she says, I just can't date someone who's not out, it can hurt. I understand. It's not something you want to hear, but it's also okay, this could have been much worse. If you had been dating, it broke up because of this, and everyone's feelings were just shattered and broken, and your family was upset. It could be worse than someone saying, I just don't think I can do that, even though I do like you. Because you just have to be honest with this is the situation. This is the playbook we're working with right now. Do you want to try dating, or do you want to just stay friends and let them decide?
Yeah, I think so many issues regarding relationships can be resolved so easily by just being upfront, as upfront as you can immediately when things start. Even if you decide to go on a dating app or something like that, Hinge or something, saying I'm just trying this new thing. I don't know exactly where I stand. I'm just looking to go on a date or something like that and test the waters. And so being as upfront and honest as possible in the very beginning, just being hey, I don't really know what's going on, but I want to just hang out with you. And they might say no, and you just sort of just have to be okay with that. I guarantee you,
Totally.
It might take a certain amount of time, it could be weeks or months or whatever, but I guarantee you will find someone who will be yeah, if anything, let's just hang out and we can see how comfortable we feel with each other. And there probably is also someone else who's going through the same exact thing that you are.
Right.
So it's just a matter of that. As long as you were as upfront and honest as possible, and you are with someone who is not putting any pressure on you, I think you'll be okay.
I think so too.
Yeah, honesty
And
is always my best policy.
I agree. And just this is not to scare you or make things sound, more ominous than they are. I understand the choice not to come out at this very moment. You're they're paying for my college. I want to have a life for myself. I also don't want my relationships with my family to change. Just keep this in mind for your future self. Once you're out of college, once you feel settled and secure on your own, even if it changes the relationship, I think at that point, you should honor yourself. If you know at that point truly I am bi or I am gay, whatever it may be, telling them, even if the response initially isn't ideal, even if the relationships do change, I think it's a hard moment that like maybe in the future, if you decide that you are not straight and are going to be dating girls, you might have to do it, because to me, the other option of just like not coming out and repressing yourself for that amount of time, I just don't imagine, even if it goes poorly, you coming out, if you know that that's you're a queer person, and you telling your family, I just don't imagine that in the future you're going to regret it. And I think there are people who come out a lot later who have said, oh, I regretted not coming out earlier. Again, you're not there. Your college is being paid for. You have a long life ahead of you, but just something to earmark for the future. Don't let the fact that their relationship with you might change hold you back if you are able to like stand on your own 2 feet, emotionally, financially at some point in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very lucky. I grew up in a family. I knew that it wouldn't be a problem, and so when I came out, I had a boyfriend, and I told them, and they were just like, yeah, we know you've been dating him. Like, it's been obvious you've been horrible at hiding it. So that was essentially the reaction.
I thought we were actors.
Matthew, you are getting your degree at NYU, and you have not been acting well. Okay. So I'm very lucky in that regard. So I truly don't know what it's like to be in this situation. But just know you are in a safe place, in college and amongst the people who love you, and your family does love you. But there are so many people who will accept you for who you are, whether you are bi or not.
Yes. Absolutely.
We love you even if
we
you
love
are
you
straight.
whether you're bi or not.
Yeah, bi or not. Yes. And
we will always love you.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, with more time, people just become more open-minded and accepting. Time moves forward, and I mean, just homophobia in 2024 is nothing like homophobia in 2004.
Totally.
So the more time that goes on, I think the more minds will be opened, which is a great thing. So we're pulling for you, girl. You got this. Just like take your time and just know, like, when it comes to like dating in general, like, people will be hurt. Like, hearts will break. Yeah. It comes with the territory, and
that's true.
You always survive it. You always, pull through.
And they do too. And even if you hurt someone else, they're going to survive it.
Yes, exactly. So just try to be as honest as possible.
I agree.
A friend, I talk literally when I start dating a guy. He's just like, God, you really just lay it all out. You really just tell me everything you're thinking in your brain. And I'm just like, yep. So, and has it ever lasted? Nope. But whatever.
Hey,
it will.
You've had positive. It will. But you just gotta find the right guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So, do we do 2 gay minutes?
I guess so. Yes. Let me get my timer ready. What is 2 gay minutes?
I truly don't have much to say, guys. This is 2 gay minutes. This is the section of the podcast where one of us rambles about something the other Matt doesn't give a shit about for 2 minutes, and it's a great time because I talk about Big Brother, and Big Brother finale is just in a couple hours. So
yes.
I'm sure many people are excited for 2 gay minutes to end in the next couple weeks.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yeah, right, sure. 3, I haven't written anything down. So we were in the top 4 last we left off, and Chelsea won the final HOH, which was just like, yeah, sure, of course. And now if she wins HOH again tonight, she will have beaten the record for most HOHs in one season. So we will see if that record gets broken tonight. She's aligned with both Cam and Mackenzie, and so she was just like, okay, I don't want to like make either one upset like by like choosing one of the other, because there's 3 people to choose out of 2 nominees, and so she's like, so I'm going to nominate both of my allies and have Rubina, who's not my ally, who's like free, but because everything that matters this week is the power of veto, because whoever wins the power of veto has like all the power. Mackenzie, MJ won the power of veto. She took herself down. Rubina went up, and she was kind of going back and forth on who she wanted to save between Cam and Rubina. Keeping Cam was better for Chelsea's game, so of course Chelsea was trying to get her to save Cam, but saving Rubina was better for MJ's game. But of course, Chelsea convinced MJ to get rid of Rubina and keep Cam, because Chelsea knows that Cam and Mackenzie will both take her to the final 3. So Rubina was evicted by MJ's sole vote, and we are on to finale night, and I'm really, really excited. And I mean, that's like about it. Truly, this was a useless 2 gay minutes, but I don't know. I'm just excited, and I know that Chelsea is considering cutting. If Chelsea wins the final HOH, she's considering. Spoiler alert: she's considering cutting MJ, which would be some drama because MJ.
Are you rooting for Chelsea?
I mean, Chelsea's the deserving winner, like by a mile. And the annoying thing is, like, they're all saying there's never been an all-girl final 2. There's never been an all-girl final 2, and it's like it's happened 5 times. Granted, last time it happened was 13 years ago, but whatever.
There you go.
And like they said, Rubina said on the feeds, there's never been an all-girl final 3, and it's like, nope, that's happened before. But but you know, they're doing what they can. They were kids. Actually, no, Rubina's my age, but whatever. But you know, some of them were very young when those seasons aired. So. Did I go past 2 minutes?
Yeah, a little bit, but
okay,
we were
whatever.
more interacting. We were more talking.
It was a conversation.
It was a slower 2 gay minutes than it's ever been, which I thought was nice. It was easy on the ears.
Big Brother slows down when it comes to the end of the season. So, yeah. So this time next week, I will be talking about the winner, Chelsea.
I hope it's Chelsea for you. I have a Giving Me Moments if you're ready for it.
Okay, this is Giving Me Moments.
Right.
This is where we talk about the content that we've been consuming that has been giving us life. Matt Palmer, what is that for you?
For me, this is something I talked about in the post-show YouTube, but I just want to say, and I'm actually glad I waited a week to bring this up because I've had more of a week to like dive into this album and its excellence. But guys, everyone who has been saying that Griff's Vertigo is an excellent fucking album is absolutely right. This is an artist we've talked about on 2 Gay Mats before. We definitely have talked about how much we love the song Walk, but like several songs on that initial EP are excellent. And her newly released album Vertigo really keeps everything at that level. Like, this girl is such a talent. She has just it's such a fully formed sound, like the synth pop of it, the melodies, the hooks, but the fact that it still can kind of wash over you while being so melodically sound is so lovely. And then lyrically, she's so incredibly strong. It's like, it's not like she's going too over top with the lyrics, but it's she's not trying to keep these things simple either. Like, she's going to give you some metaphors. Are you an astronaut? Maybe, because that's one of those high, because like you need some space, then maybe you're an astronaut. She goes on Vertigo just like, you know, it's a little too hot. That's Mexico. And it's like, yes, it's just, she's a poet and she's an artist, a great vocalist. And there's so many great songs on this album. Some of my favorites are Vertigo, Miss Me Too, Astronaut. I really love, the up-tempos are great, but something about the ballads are really excellent. And Astronaut is my second favorite ballad on the album. I also love Pillow in My Arms. Tears for Fun is a great one I always keep coming back to. But when I tell you, you know how I get with some albums, like with the Hamiltons of the world, how it's like, oh, I truly cannot listen to Burn one time. I have to go and listen to it again. There is a song, the final track on this album is entitled Where Did You Go? And it is like, you remember Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. You remember how it was just a vocal and some vocoder doing the chord progression underneath. This is Griff's take on that sound. I don't think there's any instrumentation outside of her voice.
Oh,
and
fuck
the first half of the song is essentially like a lover who has been left asking, where did you go? I have been looking all over for you. I have put signs out. I have looked under the table and all I saw was dust. And like, you have not been here. Where have you been? Have you been with him? Like, what happened? And then the second half of the song, also sung by Griff, is from the perspective of the leaver. And she's like, well, I guess my phone must have died. We both know that's just a lie. To spare your heartbreak. Like, and she's basically like, you did all these things. You looked under the table. You passed out flyers. You looked for me everywhere. But we both know that I'm not yours anymore. I'm not yours anymore. Like, so where did I go? Do you really want to know? Do you want to know? And it's like,
you had that memorized, bitch.
When I tell you I've
memorized,
we will see when the year ends, like whether this is my top song of the year. But when I tell you I played this song, I would say on loop for 30 fucking minutes. Like, I can't remember the last time a song like that like really dug into my soul. It for some reason reminded me, not even sonically, but just like the way that I reacted to it was like the way I felt when I first heard "I'm in Love with Another Man" by Jasmine Sullivan, where just like this emotionally, thematically, vocally,
I thought you were about to say "I'm in love with a wonderful guy" from the musical South Pacific, and I'm like, oh my god, girl! Oh my God. Because to me, that is the height of music.
I have never felt bad about whatever that is, but this song, I would not be surprised if it is my number one most played track of the entire year.
Okay.
It is a masterpiece. Like, this is a songwriter. She is the person that's going to tell a story in a simple, affecting, but heartbreaking way. And this song, Where Did You Go, is the crown jewel of this album, which is excellent all the way through, but that song is a masterstroke, and I cannot recommend it enough.
Okay,
Where did you go?
I need
Griff?
to listen to this Griff album because I love the EP with Walk on it.
The EP's
it's great. It's great.
It is great.
Yeah,
and a lot of the songs are great. I know I'm focusing so much on this one song, but just because it's like you'll hear it. You'll hear it, and you'll hear what I mean. Yeah. I hope it's your giving me moments next week.
Sit and listen. Keep your ears open and listen.
Yes, because Griff has something to say, and she said it beautifully with Where Did You Go, and the entire album.
Yeah.
So Matt Steele,
yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Nothing I consumed because I've been home. But that's been lovely. But also, I mean, I don't know. It's just I haven't seen my cousin John in 5 years. And like that. I love how you're just like okay, like we're like. Like, you don't understand. Like, I grew up seeing my cousin John once a week, like minimum. Like, you know, my family all grew up very, very close with each other, like within a couple minutes from each other. And so he moved to Vermont. I forget when he moved to Vermont, like a few years ago. And then but you know, I would still see him like every year for Christmas, or sometimes like if I was home and he was home at the same time. We would see each other, but then COVID happened and he didn't come down for like, you know, the first Christmas after that and the second Christmas, and like all this stuff like happened, and we just always kept missing each other. And so it was nice finally seeing him again after 5 fucking years of not seeing my cousin. Great. Yeah. Like, so that was nice. That moment was just like, okay, you saw your cousin. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm used to seeing him all the time.
I'm hearing it. Yeah, I hear you, but I can't relate. Like I've seen my cousins before, but like, yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah, I like grew up with my cousins, you know.
Yeah.
So, so that was really nice. That gave me moments. I also have like a little bit of advice for the last Email My Heart that we got. Just a little add on, just because I realized it's like if you are honest with someone and they're like, actually, I can't date you. Like I really don't want to date someone who's like still in the closet or whatever. But like, you want to be friends and like meet my other friends, like. Still, like, being honest with people opens the opportunity to just like meet friends, and then through friends you can meet someone who may be a little more open, or like even if you don't even like date someone for years, you still like feel a sense of community, you know, in just being honest with people. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit to Email My Heart. Yeah.
That's so kind. Yeah. Oh, what a kind-hearted guy Matt Steele is.
Yeah, the fact that I gave my giving me moments to this Email My Heart.
You did. You're such a giver.
I know.
Such a giver. Well, guys, this has been such a joy. Matt Steele, I'm so glad we got to connect digitally this week because you were off flitting about in Jersey seeing your cousin, which we love. But we will be back next week with more 2K Mats, the podcast.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye. We love you.